Greetings, dear friends. We continue our work with our group experiments of meditation for the common good. Today we meet following the new moon in Aquarius, continuing the work we started with as sun was moving through the sign of Aquarius in the time of the full moon, bringing our focus to the topic that we've been holding in our group, Chalice, preparing the way for the coming one, radiating the light of the one life. In our work, we use the cycles of the moon, using the high interlude of the full moon to come together in a group meditation on the unfolding plan, inquiring the way together, asking for the guidance from the elders in the spiritual hierarchy. And in this meditation, at the time of the full moon, we reflect on the questions proposed by whoever facilitates the meditation. And we hold those questions in our group focus for 2 weeks till the time of the new moon, when we, as today, meet again in the circle to share our recognitions and to offer the most resonant ideas that together we can magnetize and radiate towards the field of human consciousness, and thus assisting humanity in its path of evolution. So let us begin our work. And as always, we start our work by sounding the statement of purpose of the meditation for the common good. So over to you, Birgit.
Thank you, Alexander. Our purpose is to magnetize the ideas of common good, freedom, and brotherhood as the highest values of humanity at this time. We recognize and cherish diversity of perspectives in our group, creating a space capable of invoking, receiving, interpreting, and radiating a higher synthetic vision. We serve as an asramic outpost, building a group bridge of Buddhic energy. We evoke the soul of humanity. We envision humanity as being the seed that is flowering. We prepare the way for the reappearance of the coming one. And over to you, Tracy.
Thank you, Birgitta. Thank you, Alexander, and thank you everyone for being here today. As we begin our focus today in this new moon meditation, we begin with our naming circle, which unites our hearts across distance as we begin our alignment and bring ourselves fully into our group work. By uniting our hearts in this way, we begin naturally to work telepathically through our group mind. The key to this telepathic work is in the etheric alignment, which creates the group field and allows it to become both a receiving and transmitting agent for higher ideas and energies. We will begin by calling our names into the circle, starting with our organizers. And as your name is called, please unmute yourself, say your name and where you are calling in from. For example, Tracy Arbor calling in from Novi, Michigan, USA. And as we go through this, let us turn our attention to our hearts and the heart center of the group gathered today, as each one of us calls ourselves into this circle. Alexander.
Hello again. This is Alexander Ilchuk calling in from Brooklyn in New York in the United States.
Welcome. Brigitte.
Hello, I'm Birgitte Rasmussen, calling in from Slagelse in Denmark.
Welcome. Marie Dominique.
Hello, I'm Marie-Dominique. I call from Avignon in France.
Welcome. Annette.
Hello, my name is Annette Løffler. I'm calling in from Sorø in Denmark.
Welcome. Jillian.
Hello, everyone. I'm Gillian Douglas from Norfolk in UK.
Welcome. Karen.
Hi, I'm Karen Vitulano, calling in from San Francisco, California.
Welcome. Bissy.
Hello, my name is Bisi Oshimbolo. Today I'm calling in from Queens in New York, USA. Thank you.
Welcome. Kathy.
Aloha, everyone. I'm Catherine Heller, and I'm calling in from Pahoa, Hawaii.
Welcome. Katya.
Hi, Katja Kaufman, New York, US.
Welcome. Thank you, everyone. Now that we are linked together as a group, let us share a few moments in silence to align, forming a triangle between Shambhala, the hierarchy, and humanity. May our efforts be of the highest vibration in selfless service for our purpose. Over to you, Alexander.
Thank you. So as I mentioned, we've been holding in our group, Chalice, the questions that Brigitte offered us at the time of the full moon to meditate. We have now opportunity to continue sharing of our recognitions on the topic in focus and the questions that's been offered. We also have a community impressions board, which we use to share our impressions between the meetings. And I will put the link to the community board now in the chat. So I suggest we spend a few minutes looking through impressions that have been shared on the community board. So you can just click the link in the chat and it will bring you to the Google document with the community port. And then following that, we will open our group space for further sharing. So when we are ready, we can open our sharing. And so please unmute yourself when you would like to speak, and let us hold the focus on the group heart, group chalice. Being receptive as we listen to each other and continue listening to the guidance from the above. I can start sharing. Yesterday, we had quite a potent meditation during the daily vigil that Jo Waltz was leading us. And she called us to focus on the will to express. And that deeply resonated with me. And reflecting on the questions that we've been holding in our focus. What is the next step needed to prepare the way for the coming one? Somehow this is, I see it as one of the key aspects of the work ahead of us, being able to express what we inwardly sense and recognize. And it came to me also during the meditation yesterday, which I struggled to find the right words how to express my impressions. And that was about in relations to this coming conjunction between Neptune and Saturn. And the impressions that I got at that point was that it's these two energies of this great planets conjuncting in the first degree of Aries, or 0 degree of Aries, somewhat can be described as a tension between infinite and finite. Neptune gives us this telescopic vision, almost like unfolding upwards, and it's so tremendous and infinite that it's impossible to put it in words. And yet Saturn, the Lord of form, demands of us to act within the limitations of the form or any other limitations. And when we bring those two energies together, it's this tension that can be described with this phrase, the will to express. And I think in a way, the whole world group and all sensitives of the world are in that position. We recognize this infinite inner potential that stands by the door of expression and waits for us to recognize it, register, and formulate, and to express. And in a way, this will to expression is similar to will to manifest, will to externalize. And so therefore, it is an act of service on our side that prepares the way for the Christ and for the entire hierarchy.
In a way, you could see Aries as representing the first aspect or the first ray, Neptune as the second in its highest vibration, above the sixth ray, and Saturn is a third ray planet. So when they get conjunct in Aries, we have a synthesis of the three major rays, and it gotta be a start for a new winding of the spiral, starting on a higher point as before. So it has to be a major inspiration and aspirational source. Thank you.
Yeah, I think just taking into consideration what was written on the board. Excuse.
Tracy, you are muted now. Please unmute. Tracy will talk a little bit later. She's coughing now, and she texted, just please move on. So please be well, Tracy, and we looking forward to hearing from you. So anyone else who would like to share, please.
Another astrological point that we might make is that from the reading I've done, the 0 degrees Aries is a very special spot too, since it's the very beginning of the zodiac cycle. So some astrologers are saying that maybe not tomorrow, but over these, maybe everything won't happen exactly tomorrow, but it is nonetheless the beginning of a new cycle. In fact, new cycles, some say shorter, some say longer, but major cycles in some cases, I guess people are claiming. But they say that is the creative degree of the zodiac, where so Saturn, Neptune is, as you guys said, is the vision that we've held, and then Saturn is the manifestation or the actualization. And being at 0 degrees Aries is a pretty big deal, I guess.
Yeah. It's not even that. I mean, I think I've spoke about it several times, that it's not only the fact of Neptune and Saturn meeting in the 1st degree of Aries. It's that the last time it happened like thousands of years ago. So this is a renewal of an absolutely different magnitude. And of course, whatever is unfolding, we will probably understand and appreciate, or like participate for, I don't know, millennia. I don't know if somebody is calculating when it's going to happen again. I've seen something like the cycle of 325 years, but maybe it is just Aries. I'm not sure. But the most important part is, to me, that when events of this astrological magnitude happen so rarely, it is already meaningful and significant. And that's an opportunity. So that's why we, like one of our colleagues, keep put it in a very simple way. And he said, maybe we need, because we're going to be doing this meditations at the exact alignment, exact time of the alignment. He said, like, maybe we should ask, what can we do better this time? And I think it's a very important question. Not only how, like, what we can do better, how we can do better. And it's recognizing the task in front of us, and yet connecting with the plan as well. Because again, group intuition can precipitate a lot and can report a lot as well of what is much needed. For the part to become whole. What are we lacking to reach the next level from which our contradictions and pairs of opposites will look different? So yes, it's a very important time, I believe, of meditation with deep understanding that the events of this magnitude, the unfoldment, I don't know, may take 1,000 years, may take 100, may take 50, may take some of the things that we're preparing for that might unfold very quickly as well. And in my practice, it's a lot of things that are not very pleasant. So to offset that and to put deep meaning into crisis that might unfold very rapidly, meditating disciples need to be ready. We need to prepare for that. Ask help, support, and be ready. Be willing and open. Willing and open, as another colleague said, coworker. He said, I was willing and open, and to me, it almost as a formula. Thank you.
I have a question. In group formation, are we at the point where it's safe for us to express verbally qualities that we think should be manifest in these coming times?
Lynn, can you please elaborate a little bit your question?
Well, Alexander, I kind of tend sometimes to get specific, and I wonder, but I try to be careful of it. I wonder if we can say that focus our energies, maybe even tapping sometimes into the will aspect, if we can bring through something like that actually say that kindness is a quality that we want to see, that should be expressed, that is part of the plan and should be expressed in the coming times. Is that too specific, do you think? I mean, there are qualities I know we would all like to see active in the world around us, energies and qualities. What do you say about that?
It's a good question for all of us to reflect and to share. So I invite anyone who has any thoughts on that. I would say that's actually our direct task, to express those qualities, not just to bring them up abstractly as an ideal, but our task now is actually to manifest those qualities that we see needed. And in a way, even though maybe it's not quite technically correct to say that, but in a way, it is the only way how those qualities can be manifested, if you and I will start manifesting them. And that's an image that we've been discussing in another group conversation, was that there are beautiful videos how snowflakes are forming. This microscopic filming that allows to see that there's just one crystal appears, and then it quickly starts attracts molecules of water crystallizing immediately around them. And so it's the same principle. So when each of us start in our own place, in our own location, manifest that certain quality, it's like that nucleus that starts attracting similar vibrations and in a way enabling others to express the same qualities. That's how I recognize it. I would love to hear you, Lynn, as well, what you think.
Well, I think I would agree with you. I think, and we see that around us. We all work to try to demonstrate better aspects of ourselves, and we watch it grow around us. I'm kind of, since we involved the devas, I'm kind of wondering about the power of voice, though, too, and how we use that power and how it affects the devas. What do we call things forth with our voices? I know I'm being a little vague. I'm trying my best. Do you understand what I'm saying?
I understand what you say, Lynn. I've read a beautiful book, as Alexander said, with water, and they have taken photographs in slow motion, and water drops in near a convict, or what do you call it, a chapel, is beautiful formed, like a church, and it is obvious that the devas that are forming the water crystals, it should be said that the water was frozen, and then taking pictures of it. I think it was, and it was beautiful in holy places, and it is obvious that it must be the devas that are inspired by what is going on in the neighborhood. So, of course, we affect our environment with our thoughts and our speech. And as we can see on the community board, devas are reacting on color and sound in an opposite way that humans are. So symbols could be a way of speaking to them, but I think they sense our vibration. And another thing, Asad Giroli has written the book of meditation, and he has for each month a list of to meditate on, and the word for February is truthfulness. So that is, I'm taking that into my own meditation as good as I can. That list of words each month. So that is a suggestion. Thank you.
Thank you. That is exactly the word that came, not the word, but the concept. Because when we invoke, there are two realms to our invocation. What are we saying, and what do we mean? And sometimes they're very different. And when I say about the meaning, it's about what actually it is for us. Even if we try to strive, higher, still our understanding of justice and goodness and beauty will color our invocation. And when we talk about there's seeing the sound, to me it is actually the vibration, the truth that comes through the sound, not only because of the words we're saying, but of the meaning, of the color, of the meaning that we put in. And Lynn, when I'm thinking about, like, can we invoke kindness? Yes, of course. But then, since we are living in the world of duality, then the unkindness or lack of kindness will also come. So we will actually notice kindness because we see things rather when they contrast. In order to get to the highly abstract level of relating to those qualities, it's just it is tough. So mostly we see things by the contrast, and the sound comes also as a contrast. Silence and sound, breathe, not breathe. It's sort of, and I think in the meditation when we invoke, if we actually specify that we invoke this as, together with being ready to process the opposite and develop it into one quality that is enlightened, and through the understanding rather than through the physical experiences and losses, and to kind of, if we ask for it in a specific way, according to our capacity, that might be a necessary precautions of those kinds of invocations, because perfection brings imperfection to the surface, and it's a long known law, but somehow it comes back again and again and again because we're so yearning for perfection, but it's the imperfection that comes, we're absolutely not ready. It kind of takes us by surprise. Yeah. But I agree, it is our task to manifest. Is when we manifest, it comes at a pace where we actually can catch up with mostly can catch up with the results of our manifestation. When we invoke, we need to be ready for quick unfoldments, quick manifestations, or lack of them, despite our requests. It's sort of it is a very engaged process. It takes a lot of energy, and group, I believe, is much safer ground to work with it, since a lot of us have different strengths and different problems, so it's shareable. Our group space is shareable and helpful. Thank you.
Yes, I agree. And Seer is doing a lot of work in encourage us to meditate according to a divine plan and according to the soul's plan, and ever have that in mind, because then we can defend ourselves for the worst mistakes that we unaware can manifest, because we don't see the whole picture. So always say in accordance to divine plan, and the soul's permission. Thank you.
I would like to read the comment that Tracy wrote, and she still cannot talk, but this was a comment following previous sharing from Katya. I think Katya brought up a good point to contemplate. I don't think we are lacking, but we are now realizing our part in the whole. As was shared on the community impressions board, we are now realizing the parts that create the whole and recognizing their role. Man, devas, and will. Focused one-pointed intention is what will give power to the force of the will. No longer do we believe, we now know. And with this knowledge comes power or more force. So becoming acutely aware of our thoughts, actions, etc. is very important, so we can hold a vibration that keeps the way open, that has been prepared for the hierarchy and the Christ, so it can manifest itself on all planes, on the physical plane. The planets at this time are aligned to assist for this great change, both within and without. Thank you, Tracy. I hope your voice comes back right away. It's this time of the year. We need to stay healthy.
If I may add, I talk a lot today, but appreciate the opportunity. Thank you, Tracy. Yeah, agree. And also that brings to me the better understanding why I love silent meditations so much, because no words are spoken, but the energy is received and distributed. And that creates a very special type of meditation. When we're not limited by by the names, but rather vision comes inside. Yeah. Thank you.
I'm full of questions today. I have another one. Patanjali, in speaking of Patanjali, we're talking about the seer is pure vision, holding intellectual ideas, clear vision, or true perception. Um, how much do we present or formulate that vision? How much is our responsibility to formulate inspirational vision? Taking the plan of the hierarchy and bringing it to humanity. How specific do we get? I mean, I know we always have to say, divine will be done. That's right, and I find myself a lot saying best possible outcomes, but we're talking about seers here, and that has that visual aspect, synthesizing awareness and ideas into a plan. This is what the number 2 is talking about. What is our responsibility in actually verbalizing that plan, or just even putting it into thoughts? Or we're talking about synthesis. I mean, if we're communicating to one another, if we're communicating to people outside of our group, I mean, how does that all work, do you folks think?
Yet another good question, Lynn. It's definitely one of the values of circles like ours, when we meet with people who are on the same wavelength, and we can share our recognitions, bounce our ideas out of each other, and together start recognizing more beyond what we hear. And so it's the value of such circles is the ability to formulate and to expand the vision and formulate, express in words, put in mental substance what we recognize. And in terms of how much we talk to others, I think it's very important to follow the principle that expressed in the esoteric healing, when one of the I don't remember if it's a rule or it's just a general guidance, that esoteric healers, before doing anything to help a patient, should recognize where the patient is in his evolutionary journey, and based on that, adjust his or her methods for healing practices. And so I think the same is true when we communicate. We need to clearly see who is in front of us, and if possible, use the language of that person, and use the language of that would be the most clear to that person. And of course, it's a high call, and we only the students of wisdom, and so we learn through our own mistakes how to do that. But I think that's where the importance of recognizing the essence of whatever wisdom we recognize ourselves, and try to communicate that essence in the most simple, recognizable words. Simple, I don't mean simplified, but try use own words of own recognition, and not so much the words coming from the books. I don't know, that's my just reflection, and I'd love to hear others what other things about that. Tracy wrote, good point, Lynn. And Katya mentioned the contrast and how perfection brings imperfections to the surface. Today we have transparency, which helps us to be able to see this and to discern. It's important to bring these imperfections into neutrality. Group work plays a very important role in this, since it is a safe space of love that allows us to check and balance these imperfections. And we do this together. Many groups out of the whole will eventually transform the whole.
That was beautiful, Katya.
It was Tracy. Sasha was reading Tracy's comment.
Thank you.
No, it's okay. It's interesting. My answer to that question is that, of course, we are responsible for formulating. Especially so because it's our way of living. It's not our way of reading. It's our way of living. And all those laws and high knowledge comes through our life. It does come somewhat distorted, but yet for us to formulate what we get from it, to continue the evolutionary path, right? And at the same time, again, as a Russian person, I know for a long time, you start formulating and things start manifesting. Every time at some point, every time in my life, I would say something, oh, I would never do something like that. Immediately the choice of doing and not doing something like that would present itself. And first I was kind of really, I wouldn't say scared, but kind of alarmed. And then I realized that the feedback in the life of a person who is attempting this path of spiritual evolution becomes a very quick thing around. And that's a good thing. It's hard, I believe, but it is very good in the end because it's quick. It's not 20 years later you understand something. It's just right in your face. We are very much invited to put our money where our mouths are. That's why sometimes I'm very cautious about the level of the words that we're using, because we would need to substantiate them with our living, with our lives. Sometimes our health, sometimes our relations, and many other things that's happening with people around us as well, our loved ones and close ones. So But with all of that, still, it is our responsibility. But from the same, from Patanjali, I don't remember where, it said that something about that the truth, like your desirability, like to speak the truth, never comes as a sudden urge. Sharing the truth. So this like really interesting balance between intuitive vision, energetic response, movement, reaction, action. It's such a kaleidoscope, really. But it is our life to do so. I mean, we chose that. So thank you, Lynn. Wonderful question to ponder.
I have an old friend who used to call that instant karma. The thing you described of the quick reaction to what we put out, the quick presentation of the very thing we called into existence as a choice. Thanks.
I appreciate so much what had been on the community board about the divas, that whole excerpt, which I will read again and again, and the comments from Katya having to do with duality. I mean, I've been practicing Buddhism for about 50 years, and that's certainly something I've considered again and again. But how to implement at the level of implementation of action, of manifesting, how to manifest in such a way that contains the duality, is what occurred to me, partly from the example of on the board, from that quote of Diva's language and human language, sound that has color and color that has sound from the Divas, and then how we think that the sound is complete and the color is complete, or anyway, I was challenged and came to a positioning where I'm looking at the duality of kindness and unkindness, because I'm really wanting to manifest kindness, and if I can hold both equally present to myself, there's kind of an essence of that duality that starts to manifest in a vibration for me. And I'm wondering, and I'm thinking that it's a little bit like that sound that has color and color that has sound, that that presence and that essence that I'm sensing from witnessing and containing the duality while wanting to have kindness be a result. I'm thinking that essence is probably really powerful and really true and helpful, that essence of the combined two. And it feels like the language, this essence feeling I'm having, holding that duality as something that my will wants to activate and manifest, is a lot of the way that I sense what communication I do experience between me and the elementals, the elemental divas. And there's an essence of intentionality or vibration or frequency that isn't limited by language, that I think gets transmitted back and forth. And so perhaps if I can hold more consciously the dualities of that which I'm yearning to manifest, such a way that I receive this emanation that is somehow the combined, less limited aspect of it, of that, that I might be able to be helpful. Anyway, that's my exploration right now. Thank you for your witnessing.
The word comes equilibrium. Balance. In dynamic balance. In of the process.
Jeffrey Hudson has written a book called Music Forms. I think I have mentioned it before, but he has told a painter what he sees clairvoyant when he sees when he hears a music from a church, for instance. It is he has some very beautiful paintings of what the Devas has made of forms and colors. It is like a big painting, and it is in a circumference around every church or every concert house where they play music. And it is, I can recommend that book. It is showing this way that devas are communicating with colors in a very beautiful way. Thank you.
I'm coming back to this quote shared on the community board. I'm not sure who shared it, but thank you for bringing it up. I never read it before, and more specifically about the third type of force, that of will. Interesting definition here of the will: the balancing equilibrium of electrical phenomena. And the continues the quote that has to play equally upon and through both evolutions, human and Devic. But in one is demonstrated as self-consciousness and the other as constructive vibration. It's a very interesting to reflect on this, on the that both evolutions are responsive to the energy of the will, and especially that is now the energy of Shambhala, the energy of will, become more and more available in this world, in this planet. How this plays out in cooperation between human and Devic kingdom. And I'm coming back to Tracy's comments, or what you, Tracy, wrote at the beginning, I think this focused, one-pointed intention is an important factor in that. And especially if we think that Christ is the Lord for both evolutions. And so the same as it is, he's the head of the hierarchy, perceived from the human perspective, the same, he's the head of the hierarchy perceived from the Devic evolution. And so this one-pointed intention to prepare the way for the Christ reappearance, it's interesting point of that synchronization of intentions for both evolutions. And there is over and over, I hear in our conversations, in our group here, in our circle, and in other groups, it's this recognitions that this veil between human and Devic kingdom is thinning, and we become more receptive to each other. And in a way, we're learning to work together. And so I think what you, Tracy, wrote is the key, this focused, one-pointed intention that would allow us to come into synchronizations with each other. Just as an anecdote story from my own experience, by now it's already a long time ago, in 2014, when the war between Ukraine and Russia that started, I had a dream, which was one of those dreams that's very vivid and that it comes like in just this moment before awakening. So it's not quite a dream, but this kind of this something else. And in that dream, I was walking on the streets of some town somewhere in Ukraine, and I had in my and I was walking and calling people to wake up and come together. And in my hands, I had a something like cymbal, like this gong that I was banging. And in response to that sound of that cymbal, this in my dream, this very tall figure started appearing. Besides like humans who were waking up to my voice, these figures of devas started appearing in response to that sound, coming together with people, forming the life chain around Ukraine as a protective circle. And so now that I'm reading this quote, is that for devas, the energy of the will is expressed as a constructive vibration or demonstrated as a constructive vibration.
these seem especially important questions to me now, as or lately, I should say, as it seems that our effect is waxing so much. Recently, and more all the time, it's the effect we have seems to be greater and greater. At least in my sensibility, that's what I sense.
Time is running fast, and now we're coming to the point in our meeting where we're preparing for the meditation, which Birgit will lead us in. So over to you, Birgit.
Let us move into silence. Become aware of the stillness within. Align with your heart and soul. And from your soul, link with the group heart, the group mind, and the group soul. Let us link with the hierarchy, connecting with them through our group Antakarana, thus linking the heavens and the earth, the inner world of meaning and the subtle world of glamour. Visualize before us the glowing beauty of our chalice, which our work together feeds and fills. This golden chalice is made of numerous threads of lighted golden energy that we have provided as we have stood together in the contemplation of our lighted thoughts. And as we place our focus together here, we are influenced by the energies of Aquarius, Aquarius, the world server, the transmitter of energy which evokes magnetic response. Water of life are we, pour forth for thirsty men. The light of Aquarius shines on earth, across the sea. It is the light which ever shines within the dark, and cleansing with its healing rays that which must be purified until the dark has gone. Radiance we are in power. We stand forever with our hands stretched out, linking the heavens and the earth, the inner world of meaning and the subtle world of glamour. We reach into the light and bring it down to meet the need. We reach into the silent place and bring from thence the gift of understanding. Thus with the light we work and turn the darkness into day. So let us now reconnect with our topic, preparing the way for the coming one, radiating the light of the one life. A few moments in silence to reflect on all that has been said, as well as our responses. We ask the hierarchy to guide and inspire us as we allow our thoughts to crystallize, grasping the essence of the purpose of our work throughout this cycle. With love, we offer our efforts into the chalice, each one unmuting and speaking as you are moved to. We also honor those who choose not to speak, but who silently offer their formulated seeds into the chalice. After each vocalized offering, we will allow each seed to rest in silence for a while before the next one is offered. Let us now begin.
The protection from the group, which is leveling our imperfections.
Diversity based on love.
sculpting love into form for harmony to prevail.
Will to see, will to balance, will to love.
Equilibrium as the essence of holding consciously with great awareness the duality of equality.
We stand in the flow of divine light, love, and will, asking for best possible outcomes for this world that we all love.
The will to express one pointed intention.
Spirit of peace be spread abroad. So let it be, and help us to do our part.
Focus on the purpose of our work today and the seeds collected, allowing them to vibrate and resonate within the embracing light of our group vessel. We magnetize it now with the light of Aquarius. We invoke the will to good to empower our group intention. We lift our group chalice towards the hierarchy, offering it as a group service to the plan. We turn toward humanity and offer our group service to support the collective evolution of humankind. To seal and complete our work together today, let us sound the great invocation. From the point of light within the mind of God, let light stream forth into human minds. May light descend on earth. From the point of love within the heart of God, let love stream forth into human hearts. May Christ descend on earth. The center where the will of God is known, let purpose guide all little human wills, the purpose the masters know and serve. From the center which we call humanity, let the plan of love and light work out, and make seal the door where evil dwells. Let light and love and power restore the plan on earth. Om. Om. Om.